Almost every time we get a call from someone who's looking to move to Colorado, there is one place that keeps coming up time after time after time. Where is that? It's Castle Rock, Colorado. Now, we've done a lot of videos on Castle Rock, but that's because you guys keep asking for it. So in this video, we wanted to break down the top 5 areas of Castle Rock that you must be familiar with if you are looking to call this place home or even thinking about it. And we're not only just gonna go over some neighborhoods, but we're gonna show you the new shopping areas, the old shopping areas, where to find the new builds out there, and really just give you guys what I would say is the best overall view of all the different parts of Castle Rock. So if you're considering calling any of these areas your future potential home, you absolutely got to see this. So let's get right to it. Now, as promised, let's get right to it. I'm going to dive into the map here and I'm going to show you guys really the complete breakdown of what I feel are really the top 5 predominant parts of Castle Rock that, hey, if Castle Rock is on your list of possible locations to call home in Colorado, you're definitely going to want to check these places out. And then I'll give you some pros and cons to each of the places and just some good things to know as you're diving into them, because Castle Rock as a whole is amazing, but different parts of Castle Rock might not be for you. So by the end of this video, hopefully you're going to have a good idea of what is going to be the place for you in the town of Castle Rock. So jumping over to the map here, let's take a look at Castle Rock as a whole before I start diving into some of these particular areas. Now, another thing I want to mention here is that we are not going to be talking Castle Pines today, okay? However, if you are looking at Castle Pines, or if you are looking at Castle Rock, Castle Pines is definitely a place that you're going to want to dive into as well. But for now, just to stay true to the title of this video, we're going to keep it specific to Castle Rock. And I really just want to break Castle Rock down into some digestible, bite-sized chunks for you guys so that you can now start getting familiar with the individual components of Castle Rock. So let's start out with giving you guys some outlines here. Here we've got, Castle Pines right here. Okay, so this is going to be the southern border of Castle Pines. Here we've got I-25, that is the primary north-south highway in Colorado, that is going to be running right down through, my line got a little messed up there, going to be running right down through the middle of Castle Rock. Now let's start breaking Castle Rock down in general. The first area right here is the Meadows. The Meadows consists of a lot, like 13 different sub neighborhoods, but it is safe to call all of it the Meadows. All right. Now, what's unique about the Meadows is that it sits on the west side of I-25, which, if you guys are looking at the map here, which you are, this is the only big area that is on the west side of I-25. Everything else is over here on the right side. So this means that you are a little bit closer to nature. You're a little bit closer to the mountains. All right. What's also right here by the Meadows is the outlets and shopping center. So that's all going to be right here in this area. Okay. Now there's also going to be a big medical facility here. I believe it's called Castle Rock Adventist. So you've got a lot of the new school shopping and dining right here. You've got Whole Foods, you've got the 24-hour fitness, you've got the outlet malls, all of that sort of thing that you guys will be using on a day-to-day basis. Can't believe I forgot. You've got In-N-Out Burger there as well. Down here, a little bit further south, this is where you're going to have Old Town Castle Rock. This is considered downtown Castle Rock right here. It's on the southern side of Castle Rock. This is where you can see my blue dot. This is where I'm at right now at our office in downtown Castle Rock. Now let's keep going down a little bit further south. This is where we are now going to have a neighborhood called Crystal Valley. Also encompasses this loop here. And then over here, we are going to have Montaigne. We'll get into these here in a little bit, but right now I'm just breaking it down into chunks for you guys, okay? This is considered South Castle Rock, all right? So we've got North Castle Rock here, we've got South Castle Rock here, and this stretch is probably just about maybe 8 minutes or so on the highway, not very far at all. Now we start getting into East Castle Rock, where we're going to have Founders Village. Founders Village is going to be one of the older neighborhoods that's out here, one of the more mature neighborhoods is probably a better way to put it. And this is where you're going to have Terrain, which is not an old neighborhood by any means. It's one of the more established ones here. And then this is Macanta. All right. Now, Macanta is a new build community. All right. Similarly aged as Montaigne. This sits really on the northeast side of Castle Rock, and I would consider this just on the outskirts of Castle Rock as well. So now that you have all these scribbles on your screen, we're going to start breaking down each of these areas individually. I wanted to start off this way again, just to kind of paint some context for you guys in terms of the general layout of Castle Rock, the primary neighborhoods that are going to be around there. Now we can start diving into those a little bit more individually so you guys can really get a look and feel for what each one's going to be like, in addition to some of the pros and cons. Now, I'm going to come over into the Meadows first. Again, Meadows sitting on the west side of I-25. We're going to come over here to Google Earth. Let's go ahead and zoom in there. Here we are. We're looking at the Meadows, okay? I'm going to tilt the map here a little bit so that you guys can really start getting a feel for what the Meadows is going to be like and how much more close to nature you get, like I mentioned before. So here we've got I-25 splitting up the middle, and over here on the west side, so this is all going to be the Meadows for you guys, okay? So you see that we've got this nice golf course here. We've got homes that just stretch all throughout the neighborhood, and this is where you're going to have like all those pocket neighborhoods that I was mentioning. And more importantly, you're going to have all of this Castle Rock terrain, right? That is so unique to Castle Rock specifically. And you have all this open space that's out here. You can see that you have some mesas. Like, there's just a lot going on here in the Meadows and just Castle Rock in general. Now, I don't think that you guys need to be in the Meadows necessarily in order to, see and feel this. Again, you're going to feel Castle Rock terrain no matter where you're at in Castle Rock. That's one of the unique things about Castle Rock, is how much nature just comes to you out there. You know, that's always just been one of my biggest things with Castle Rock that I've always loved and have spoken to you guys a lot about. You don't get this in a Littleton. You don't get this in a Highlands Ranch. You don't get this in even a Parker. This close to the mountains, this much just beautiful Colorado nature, right? And then you'll see here, got these homes that are just nestled down in these little valleys. There's just so much cool stuff going on around here. This is just one of the great things about being on the west side. Now, another important thing to note here, guys, is that, getting a little south here, is that you do have these train tracks that run all the way down pretty much just the western border of I-25. All of these right here, let me go ahead and outline it for you. These are train tracks that are going to run just all the way down through the Meadows. For the most part, no issues with this. However, if you do live on the east side of the Meadows, just be aware that, you know, if you're part of any of these homes here, yeah, you're going to hear some trains going by. It is active. It's not all the time, but it's definitely something to be aware of. Now, again, this isn't going to affect the Meadows as a whole by any means, just something that I want to point out to you. Now, if we come in a little bit, you're going to see Castle Rock Advent Health, it's called. So this is quite a big medical facility, but this is really just a great transition over here to where you're going to have the outlet malls. If we just keep going over here, here's I-25. You've got the whole outlet mall facilities right here. Just on the north side of this, we've got Whole Foods and all sorts of shopping and dining options. So for those of you guys that, you know, if you're thinking that if you live in Castle Rock, you're on the outskirts and you're going to need to leave town to go do anything, you're definitely not. Anything you need is going to be located right here. All right, guys, cutting in here real quick to remind you that we are licensed real estate brokers. There's a number popping up on the screen right now. If you throw us a phone call, text message, or email, we are the guys that answer the phone. We would love to help you out with any of your real estate needs. So that being said, guys, let's get right to the next neighborhood. Let's come back over to our map, okay? And here we're just at the Meadows. What I want to do, I want to come down a little bit down here into downtown Castle Rock now, okay? Here we're just going to come down I-25 a little bit. Coming down the highway, and we are going to go ahead. Oh, I went a little far south. We're going to exit on this road called Plum Creek, and right here, and we're going to show you drone footage as well. This is the downtown Castle Rock area. Okay, now this is a historic downtown. So what does that mean? That means that, you know, you have a lot of the classic buildings like the old post office, like the old courthouse. You've got a lot of old cafes that are from like the early 1900s, which is really cool. What I love about our downtown Castle Rock right now is that they're really putting a lot of money into some new development. So here there's a brand new library that's really cool. It's really modern looking. They're doing a lot of neat stuff with it. There's also a couple of big condo developments that are down here. On top of that, you've got some really cool trendy taco shops and wine bars and tapas places. Just really, really cool things. And right here, what I'm zooming in on, we've got this thing called Festival Park down here. Okay, and you have this really cool like creek that runs through it all. Down here, I believe every Thursday in the summer, they're going to have live music. I think they even do like movies in the park, but you'll just see people, they come and they park their cars anywhere here in downtown and they walk to Festival Park. It is just an excellent way to get in touch with your community and your neighbors and just all the good things that Castle Rock has to offer. All right, now moving right along here, we are going to head down south. Again, here's downtown Castle Rock. We're going to head down south, and now we're going to come into this Montaigne and Crystal Valley area. One of the things that I love about Montaigne is that it is just a big, expansive, beautiful new build community. Now, the primary builder down here in Montaigne is going to be Toll Brothers, and Toll Brothers is one of the more notorious ones here in Colorado as far as just putting out a good overall quality product and having more modern layouts and finishes and exterior designs. So oftentimes, guys, that's one of the big draws down to the Montaigne community. Now, they're also going to have a 55 and up portion of this called Regency, which is also a big draw over here. Colorado in general isn't a major attractor for these 55 and up communities because we're not warm like Arizona, and you do have winters out here and stuff like that. So we don't have a lot of those out here, but it is a really, really cool active adult side of the neighborhood with their pickleball courts and really good pool and just all of these just really cool amenities. Another big reason that people come down here to Crystal Valley as well. Crystal Valley, again, sits just outside of Montaigne, is the parks and the schools. It's Douglas County School Districts, and that's always usually in the top third or fourth position in like all the schools in Colorado. So really good school districts, but then the sense of community is what draws a lot of people there. All right, now let's jump into terrain in Castle Rock and show you guys a little bit about what is going on over here. Now, even though you are further on the east side of Castle Rock, what I love about terrain is that, not surprisingly, you are going to have some pretty cool terrain over there, right? Now, you know, a lot of these homes, these are going to be, I would say, 2015 to 2018 as far as the age range. Again, I don't think they're doing any new builds out here currently. They're still very much newer homes. And like what you guys can see here, this is a big like dog park. You've got the clubhouse and pool here, and just all throughout the community, you're going to find these other parks. This is a middle school right here within the neighborhood, and all back here, I mean, you just have like trails and stuff and great views, tons of homes. Like, look how they design these homes, guys. All these homes back to just open space, right? It just looks like this is more terrain build that's happening here, but this is an old shot here back from, looks like April of 2023. All these homes back to open space. So even just the way that these neighborhoods were designed, they intentionally put these homes so that you're not backing up to neighbors in your backyard. Even these, like in the end of the cul-de-sac, like this guy's got a huge lot right here. So they really did put a lot of thought into where they place these homes so that a lot of our new build communities out here do have smaller lots, but the way that they're positioned in a good neighborhood will back up to open space, or at least have a lot of options of homes that back up to open space. So a lot of people do end up loving that. Again, I would say if I had to say one great thing about terrain, it's just how many parks there are within the neighborhood itself, in addition to all the trails, the schools on the internal neighborhood as well. If we're looking at potential downsides, you're going to feel like you're in Castle Rock here, right? But it's going to be a little bit of a drive if you got to go all the way into the outlets or the medical center here, or a little bit of a drive here if you're trying to go to downtown Castle Rock. And this, I would say, I mean, this could easily be 12 minutes here. This is probably closer to 8 to 10 minutes. Now, looking at one of the potential downsides of living down here is that this does just tend to feel a little far south for people who are regularly wanting to get to that Denver area. So again, if we're looking at Montaigne and Crystal Valley right here, again, we've got the meadows over here. This is the south side of Castle Rock right now. If we zoom out here a little bit, you know, you're going to see that this is, again, just maybe 5 to 8 minutes south of the heart of Castle Rock here, you know, as we're talking maybe the newer side of Castle Rock with the outlet centers and everything. But that 8 minutes added to the front end of a trip when you're driving 35 minutes to downtown Denver, and then it's that extra 8 minutes back, that can add up. So A lot of people that are coming here, you know, maybe living here in Castle Pines up north or the Meadows is more than good with them. But if they are coming down to the south side here of Montaigne, it can be just a little bit far south feeling. All right, so definitely keep that in mind. But if you're not going to Denver on a regular basis, the pros of living down here in this great community with new homes and Toll Brother homes that look good, and you're surrounded by nature, the pros of all of that can definitely outweigh the cons of just a few extra minutes on the drive. All right, now as we work our way a little bit further north, we're going to dive into the Macanta neighborhood. I'll show you guys where this is on a map, but Google Earth will not do us justice because it is such a new community that you're not going to see a whole lot that is going on there. But now one thing that I do want to mention here about Macanta, so I'm going to show you guys this. It is a fairly small build that's happening right here. Now, to give you guys some context, we've got all the outlets that are right here. We've got terrain that is just below, you know, just south of Macanta. And this whole area, this is where you're going to find the Targets, the Walmarts, the Home Depots, all those, you know, general everyday things that you're going to be needing in your city. This road right here, Crowfoot Valley, guys, is going to ultimately take you all the way up to Parker. Matter of fact, this is Parker right about here. This is where Parker starts. With Macanta being right here, you're going to feel like you're just outside of Castle Rock. Even though you definitely are in Castle Rock, you're literally on your way out. And then there's Macanta. Okay, so as soon as you get on this road, Crowfoot Valley, you're only going to go up here a little bit, and then you're getting off on a Macanta. So you're in Castle Rock. You're not going to feel like you're on the outskirts that much, but you're going to feel like you're kind of just right on the outside of it, right? Now, this is not a deal breaker. Obviously, you're still very close to everything that you would need. You're still very close to the outlets. This is probably an 8-minute drive or so. You're close, right? But just if you're really looking to feel like you are in Castle Rock, in the heart of Castle Rock, this might feel a little bit far out for you, okay? Things that are great about Macanta is the terrain that they have out there as well. What you're going to be lacking potentially are really good mountain views. You're a little bit out east. There's a chance that you could be sitting down in a little bit of a valley, but you are going to have a lot of the natural Castle Rock landscape, right? Which is going to be more gullies and mesas, things like that, as opposed to mountain views. Now, they also have a lot of mountain biking out there, like legit mountain biking trails that they're building. We went into Macanta's gym at their community center, and it's a full-on legit gym, right? You could get a great workout there. It is not your average community center elliptical, right? They've got stair climbers, kettlebells, real squat racks. It's a really, really cool community that they have there. You're going to have a variety of builders out there as well. And whether you're looking to buy a new build home or a pre-existing home, you're going to want to call that number that's popping up on the screen right now, because we are licensed real estate brokers in the state of Colorado. And as much as we like making these videos, we'd love more to help you with your real estate needs. So if you give us a phone call, text message, or email, we are the guys that answer the phone. We would love to help you out. So I appreciate you guys sitting through this with me. Again, we have a ton of interest on Castle Rock all the time, and I wanted to make this video just breaking this down for you. I just got off a Zoom call with some clients where I was doing almost this exact thing. So I know this is something that you guys are looking for, and comment below if there's any other cities where it would be helpful for us to kind of give these neighborhood breakdowns for you from a map perspective. We're always happy to do that. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, thank you. We'll see you in the next one.